Peace. Quick little think fast. As above, so below. You know, you wouldn't expect your computer to operate. Like, say, for instance, if you cut some of the wires in your computer, or some of the wires in your computer was like so dirty, full of some type of crud or rust, to where it was messing up with the electrical connection, within the computer. You know, you would understand, like, all right, damn, my computer not gonna operate at its best because the motherboard all dirty. I got like, say for instance, you ever got crumbs into your keyboard, got all kind of dirt in there. It's hard for the numbers to press. And these this dirt and stuff is all elements that's not naturally a part of the computer. It's some external trash that's now in the computer, disrupting the parts of the computer, therefore disrupting the operation of the computer. You on a computer is moving slow because because a certain wire that connect to the hard drive got all kind of crud on it, stuff like that. And as above, so below with our body, reason why we operate close to the spirit when we're healthier is for that same reason. Like, certain nadis and meridians, certain energy fields, certain organs, what I'm saying, won't operate at its best if you still got trash, because it's true that with a lot of unhealthy foods eating that over years, you might have crud stuck in the intestines from 5 years ago possibly. you know and just like that computer, the computer not gonna operate at its best if it got crud from way back when still, in it. You gotta clean off that crud or clean out that crud in order for the computer to operate at its best. Now, of course, in our growth, we not we have our little, difficulties in eating healthy. Sometimes every now and then I might eat some type of little cake or donut that ain't the healthiest, but for the most part, I'm spending most of my time making sure that I am eating healthy, that I am drinking a lot of water, because another thing too, we over 70% water. So when we eating all these solid foods, all we're doing is dehydrating ourselves, you know, like making sure we eating things with a lot of water in it. And that's why fruits and vegetables is so healthy. Another reason, besides many other reasons, But again, if certain wires not connecting, like, say for instance, like how I talk about smoking, like, well, the actual, not the herb itself, but the actual smoke is drying up the water in some parts of the brain. So when the neuron's trying to fire off and create a connection to the next neuron, it got a little gap in water. So it's a gap in information. It's like damn, I can't get that message. I don't really remember that because it's there's a little dry spot that neuron was trying to pass some information through, and and again, like with anything, water amplifies electricity. So if you got a dry spot, matter of fact, you ever seen like when thunder or light, or should I say lightning, strikes something or comes from something, in essence, because lightning does come from the ground up sometimes. But when lightning, quote unquote, strikes something, again, when it's not rain, that's why thunderstorms without rain could be seen as dangerous, because it's like, oh shit, it could just electrocute something and start a fire. And it's like that same vibe, like reason why we have like that little short-term memory. It's almost like that lightning strike and a little fire started, or a little missing connection happened. But again, whenever we drinking a lot of water and eating foods that put brings light into the body instead of taking light away, and it's a fact, no matter how much you want to argue for eating unhealthy, like, say for instance with me, again, eating my little cakes and stuff, but I know those sugars and all that other ingredients that has nothing to do with my body. My body is not made out of red 40 or yellow 32 or blue 22. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not made out of all these different chemicals. So why would I expect for me to put those chemicals in my body and consider myself nourishing myself? Like, now I'm putting harmful poisons and external things into my body. And the insanity is, what people don't get just yet is that they wouldn't even be having like for one, the doctor putting you in a loop and bringing you back to him, because in order to make money, you got to deal with sick people. He can't be out here helping people for real, for real. He got to find a way to give you the illusion of making you think you're helping yourself, but keep you a little sick so you could come back like, hey, now when I walk, my ass cheek leak pus, well, here, take this. Now it may cause bleeding from the ear and, blindness, but it'll help the pus in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a little racketeering circle. You realize as you start to eating healthy, you eliminate even, all these bad feelings like, oh, my little leg hurt, oh, my stomach cramp, like, all that goes out the window once you start eating healthy, once you start cleaning out your computer, because again, why would I expect my computer? Like, that's common sense. I could ask a little kid that. I show him a picture of a dirty computer and show the inside of a computer that's all dirty. And I show him the inside of a computer that's clean. And I ask that little kid, which computer you think gonna run better? That kid ain't gonna be no rocket science. He's gonna be like, the clean one will run better. And again, it's insane to think that, oh, I want this good life, I want this great life, why me, God, why I got diabetes? You got diabetes because you're not eating healthy, you know what I'm saying? You dealing with a way of life that was given to you by Europeans set on oppressing people, and matter of fact, and turning people into food for certain you could say entities in essence that feed off of negativity and feed off of lower vibrations, So, that's the whole thing. But again, just on the as above, so below aspect of, why would you expect, like a car and stuff like that is a reason why the if you ever had the problem with your gas tank like I had before, or when you get like some trash in your gas tank, your car could possibly cut off while you're driving because that trash that's in your gas as the little tube that's running from the gas tank to the engine, to pump that gas to create that combustion, it's having a little gap in gas because they got some trash in the gas tank that's blocking up the connection. So from time to time, as all that, the gas moving and that trash bubbling up is blocking the intake, and then the car shutting off, So again, and we build all, everything that we make is mimics our body, like FaceTime on the phone is like telepathy, in essence, our ears is like a microphone, mouth like speakers, eyes like cameras, we flying in the astral planes like an airplane, all bodies have a waste area, like say for instance a vehicle has a combustion pipe, just like how we let waste go out our ass, out our lower extremities, we build things to do the same. The computer has a little fan at the back to let air, to keep it cool, keep the homeostasis of the temperature, a house has a bathroom to allow for waste to go out, everything built the way, we are. But just, again, just the analogy for us to keep things in perspective, because when you see it like that, it's more obvious that, like, it's more obvious that it's insane to think that, here it is where I don't have night vision and I don't have sharp fangs, and and again, to each his own on eating meat, but it's a fact that it does, a lot of the intake of it does, kind of activate cancerous bodies within the body, cancerous cells within the body, and also calcifies the pineal gland over time, But to each his own, with eating it. But long story short, knowing that I don't have night vision and fangs and eating meat and expecting to be healthy, And again, oh yeah, well my mama taught me this and it. Again, we in the times where, we can't claim ignorant as an excuse. Something in most cases, I don't want to sound like I'm in people's head and speak for people, but in most cases, everybody knew that, like, at one point had a little moment, no matter how brainwashed they were taught or whatever, they had that little moment where that God energy seep through and let them know, like, what you're doing is some bullshit, you know. Like, even though that's your mama, there's healthier ways to eat, you know. You don't have to listen to your mom or your dad or uncle, aunt, or mom, whoever, you know. It's possible for them to get things wrong, just as, you know, it's possible for us to get things wrong. You look at yourself, like, look at how it's possible for you to get things wrong, and the fact that, you know, you're gonna grow to be somebody's, you know, uncle, auntie, parent, or something. In some way, you're gonna be some type of elder at some point. So look at how, you know. So what would make you think that our elders uh would just be perfectly right about everything, you know what I'm saying? If you have the chance of, you know, not getting it right yourself, then they had that same vibe of possibly not knowing everything too. So why, you know, again, you start to realize why discernment, you know, comes through that heart chakra, Christ consciousness, inner intuition, you know, having that own inner guidance and discernment, you know, to operate. But, you know, that's basically it, you know. You got dirty wires, you know what I'm saying? You eating all kind of foods that's dirtying up the body. It's not gonna operate at its best. You know, for the most part, you know, the way society was built, it had us all shooting ourselves in the foot, you know. But the good thing about shooting yourself in the foot and not nobody else shooting, like, you know, when somebody else holding the gun, you know, it's like shit, can't move. But when it's you holding a gun, shooting your own self in the foot, you could be like, wait, hold on, fuck this, man. I'm tired of shooting myself in the foot. You could throw that gun away and you know what I'm saying, shooting yourself in the foot, aka, you know, eating harmful foods and not you know, ignoring, being ignorant to information that will help your spiritual growth. That's a choice, you know. And again, you could throw that gun to the side and stop shooting yourself in the foot and decide, you know what, I'm about to heal, you know, help heal this foot I've been shooting for so long, and then continuously grow from there. You know, basically. But that's all I have to say about that. I must have drunk about 15 Dr. Peppers. P, we're not trying to drink 15 Dr. Pepper. Matter of fact, you know, you look at that, like junk food, how it dehydrates, like alcohol, all that corn syrup, you know, because it got to a place where for me, you know, I thought I was doing something whenever I was drinking my Arizona teas. But then it got to a place where, you know, my body was like, we could be healthier than this, you know, because the Arizona tea still have that little corn syrup and this and that. And again, look at how, you know, why do somebody like, I want straight juice, lemonade, or what, you know, or watermelon juice, or whatever, you know, whatever the juice is. I don't want no extra stuff in it. Or will we do this to preserve? Nah, you know, and shit, I like it fresh. You know, ship it out fresh. Oh, well, you know, it's gonna stay. Because again, it's like not caring about getting fresh food to people, but more we gotta have a bottom line and we gotta make money. You know, I can't just put something on the shelf that's healthy, but people don't want. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but they use these excuses. But if I want orange juice, I ask for orange juice. I didn't ask for citric acid. I didn't ask for extra coloring. I didn't ask for a little extra sugar. You know, I want the orange juice. You know, like it's not again, and they promote an insane way of thinking to where people think it's cool to have all these extra additives in something when, you know, it should be just that. Like cranberry juice shouldn't be, oh look, grape concentrate and uh high fructose syrup and extra sugar. Like, you know, I asked for just that juice. Didn't ask for nothing else. I didn't ask for red 40, you know. again, the raspberry flavoring comes from a gland in the beaver's ass. I don't want no beaver's ass in my food. Like, how does that help me? And you start to realize how much we done got into zombie mode where it's more important to have beaver's ass in our food so I could taste raspberry instead of being healthy. That's insanity. That's insane. And people, and what's more insane is that I'm speaking on the insanity, and some people will still see me as crazy. You crazy. That milk, man, does a body good. We're drinking another species milk with pus and bacteria in it, you know, that does a body good. And here it is where humans call themselves smart, but the only animal, taking milk. Let's speak for, most, because a lot of it, let's kudos to the people who always knew better. Doing natural births and breastfeeding. Kudos to the people that been pioneering on that level where the rest of the society was looking at you like crazy or like something was wrong with you, and it really wasn't. It was the rest of society. It was the whole world just being insane, and y'all were sane when others weren't. And kudos to that, because it does take a lot of gut. Like, say for instance, right now, which it doesn't take that much, but from when you're looking at it from your ego perspective, it's like, man, I gotta start breastfeeding my kids. A woman looking at it as if it's some. I mean, not say I guess start breastfeeding your kid, but like if I have a child, I gotta breastfeed, and I gotta have a natural birth. I gotta have birth in a healthy manner. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Again, they create a situation where insanity becomes the social norm. Oh girl, you better. But I cringe when I hear people talking that manner. It's like, oh yeah, shit, I hurry up and took that shot and let them knock me out so I could have that baby get spit out. Like here it is where they got people, bragging on the fucked upness of their delivery of birth. Like, oh yeah, I told them to put me to sleep and fuck me up off of the medicines. I didn't want to feel that shit and this and that. Of course, I'm not I'm not a woman. I know that pain, obviously, having another human being come out of you could be very difficult, you know. But again, we have natural ways of dealing with that, instead of poisons. That way, as your child come out, because that has to do with the root chakra, in early child development. When your child come out, instead of cutting the umbilical cord, letting it stay so it could continue to get nutrients as it always was, until again, the medical system trying to disconnect us from our indigenous ways and, disrupt our soul. But, you're supposed to sit there with your mom attached to the umbilical cord, and look your mom in the eye and see that love and feel that love instead of your mom being drugged up. So as soon as you come out, you go to some doctors who don't give a fuck about you, slap some antibacterial shit in your eye, give you a poisonous vaccine, hold you upside down and slap your ass, like do all these things that, basically the complete opposite of nurturing and love, But that's why a lot of us walking around with these problems again, it's from birth where they do that to us and then, and then give us a bottle full of Similac, which has fetal estrogen, so as a little brethren or sister, because it could throw off either, growing up, and they naturally feeling like, like a little girl feeling like I naturally like girls, or a boy feeling like I naturally like boys, which, is going to feel natural because they was pumped with fetal estrogen from birth, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, you're going to feel the way you feel, because you was being pumped with a chemical before you could even talk. So the first words that might come out your mouth will maybe, close to that, man. I was gonna do a little joke, but everybody, we're doing jokes and stuff like that. realize I don't mean no maliciousness, but I was going to be like, you come out like, hey. As a masculine, as a male, you coming out. And to each his own, again, on your sexual orientation, Again, because being a comedian, you do realize, like, where I'm joking, I don't mean anything towards nobody, you know. Hey, make a heterosexual joke. Have at it, I won't get mad again when you're true to what you are and I'm satisfied in my being. Like, shit, make a heterosexual joke at me. you know, as long as we just fun and games, I don't mind. Shit, even if you was trying to be malicious, I wouldn't mind. That's the whole vibe. But again, just realizing when I have that computer as clean as possible for it to run as clean as possible. Now again, some of us, are, like scientists in essence, and we trying to see, if our computer, we dealing with alchemy, and we trying to see if our computer, will allow some crud to get on my computer, but then instead of actually physically cleaning it, I visualize, cleaning it to clean it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm working with the metaphysical ways of cleaning it, so it does take a little bit of experimenting, in that format. But you got that as well, to the alchemists and those who, really into magic on a level where, because again, it's something where, it is just meant for certain people. Some of us are here to really dive into code information and really like see what's real, what's not. And that comes through experience. It don't come from just reading books. I gotta really see if like my extrasensory perception really worked. I gotta really drink that coffee and see if I could, even though it's acidic, still stay in a place of balance and alkalinity. Maintaining a high level. But I gotta experiment in order to see the results. And really have my own gnosis of what's going on in that situation. But again, that's for those of us who, deal with that energy on that level. But that's basically it. Remember, clean off the computer parts if you want to see the computer operate at its best. As above, so below. What tool, what technology, what vehicle, what thing operates at its maximum capacity when it's at its dirtiest and filthiest. Again, we do have some unique avatars and souls that may come down here with such a level of power where they're able to do things that, doesn't quite go along with the lessons and the laws that all of us, all the rest of us may be having to deal with. Again, it's different levels to this growth. Some being somewhere ducked off, that's basically like an avatar where they just coming down to finish off some little work. They basically, in essence, probably didn't even come through on the birthing situation. Come down as an avatar to do some last little spirit guide work before the soul go to the high, to the next level. But that's basically it. Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now.